Hello, everybody. This is Di, anti-natalist, and this is at my hotel, and the sun is going down, and it's finally comfortable for me to sit in a corner over here and hope that I have some privacy and quiet while I do this video. And this video is entitled "New Degrees of Suffering That I Have Experienced on This Vacation." And I've taken some notes here, and just bear with me if it feels like I'm reading things, because if I don't jot my notes down, otherwise I won't be able to remember them. So, oh God, there's a little light here, but anyway, here I go. New forms of suffering. New degrees, new levels of suffering. First off, I want to thank Gargi. It was great meeting you. She's been a Facebook friend for years, and she showed me, her home, her animals, her rescue dogs and cats. She took me out to a great a vegetarian restaurant, and it was superb. The food here has been superb everywhere. Street food, hotel food, every single place has been outstanding, but hot. I want to thank Safraz, Sajid, Mushraf. Mushraf was the uncle of my current taxi driver. And he showed me, the town. We went shopping. We went to beaches, and he waited and he held my shells, my sea finds, and also Shab. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he was from Kashmir, and he was a shop owner who spent a lot of time, and I mean hours, with me, showing me the different fabrics and the different stitches and embroidery and rugs. And he showed me saffron and how to rate saffron, and I bought some really good saffron from him. And then he introduced me to a cashmere tree called Kalwa, and it's a green tea, and they add saffron and almonds and cardamom. And so I want to start off talking about my number one degree of suffering, which has been heat oppression. It's been 36 degrees Celsius, 97 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and many places have little or no AC. Sweating and discomfort all the time, unless I am in a taxi or hotel with the air conditioning very low, like 20 degrees Celsius. I have had extreme fatigue and pure exhaustion and breakdowns because of this. Literally just fatigue like I've never experienced before. And part of the fatigue was from the stress of traffic. And I am a passenger. I am a tourist. I am not driving. But just watching the traffic and the near misses and the close calls, the congestion of people, taxis, rickshaws, pedestrians, peddlers, beggars, trucks, motorbikes coming at you from all angles. The sheer excitement and energy of such busyness and photographic opportunities is mind-blowing. Near collisions, chaotic order at best, and vehicles are prepared to stop at all times in Mumbai for every walk of life, be it a goat, cow, a dog, cat, or chicken, who may enter the roadway at any time. I have to flip the page here. And another reason I'm suffering is pure filth. There's no soap in many washrooms. It just doesn't exist. And no toilet paper. They use water. They have a water bucket and a spigot. And I'm not really sure how things work. I'm not even going to go into that. Just use your imagination. But I'm kind of struggling with the hygiene here. And so it's unhygienic at every angle. And I'm a tomboy at heart. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play with worms. I used to bait the hook. I don't do that anymore. But there's trash everywhere. And there's a layer of filth practically everywhere you look. The streets are unkept. The beaches are littered. And lack of sanitation everywhere. It's very uncomfortable to be a part of this, and it's taking away from my peace and comfort. So use your imagination. Everything is dirty. Almost everything except, a luxury hotel. Frustration of the language accent barrier. Mostly in my hotel, many Indians trill the R and B sounds like bread and cruise. Bread and cruise. So everything is, so many words are distorted, and it's very, very hard to carry, to connect the dots of the English language that they are trying to speak, and they seem to not understand me as well. They would say yes to things when they misunderstood. Many detrimental communication issues, and this created a lot of problems. My hotel seems to have poor follow-up and little accountability. It's a very upscale place, I will say. This is kind of an unusual degree of suffering. My tongue has been burned twice on scalding tea that was served. And they serve the tea extremely hot. And I noticed this in Morocco as well. The spearmint tea there, was also served very hot. But my tongue has been burned for like at least a week. And it didn't heal quickly. In addition, the true Indian food has a high spice heat level that seemed to burn my tongue even more. It is raw and has been for days, and it's actually limiting my ability to eat food. I will say this, that I love hot foods, and the food has been outstanding everywhere. And Surfaraz has taken me to some great restaurants, and Sajid has gotten me samosas from an unbeatable little outdoor vendor. He has a little store. It's called Delight. It's in Bandra, but it's called something Delight, and it's just a place on the street, a little nook, a little restaurant of sorts, if you call it that. But the samosas are not doughy. They are more crunchy. They are thinner and crunchy. And the filling is just world class. And literally for about 12 or 15 cents, these samosas are cost in US dollars. Let's see. Another thing that's been a little uncomfortable is people who seek money from me as a tourist. This can be stressful, I know. I know people seek Westerners, and beggars will especially go up to taxis and Anglos for a handout. But it is what it is. Okay, this next form of suffering may not be considered a form of suffering for many people. But I am highly sensitive, and my senses, my olfactory senses are very astute and clear and sensitive. And I will say that some of the smells here are so offensive that I'm going to label them as suffering. So smells, which are more elevated than I've experienced before. And one area that Sefaraz drove me through, it was like a fish market, or a fishery of some sort, and the smell is so foul because it is rotting fish, and it's not fishy smelling, it is rotting fish. And in some parts it can be smelled for a quarter of a mile on a motorbike. And there is another form of a smell here, and it is just pure funk. I don't even know what to call it. It is just funky. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so I guess this is my last form of suffering. Mourning. I may never get to return to India, and two people in particular have made a big impression on me. I will miss special people who became my friends, possibly lifetime friends. Sajid was my third taxi driver, and as anyone knows, you have to kiss a lot of toads to find that handsome prince of guides or taxi drivers when you're on vacation. And he fit the bill. We were a perfect fit. He has gone out of his way to help me. He knows people. He has connections. He's cool, and we can talk about many things. He showed me his living quarters and his delightful family and his beautiful sister, who is a flight attendant. He is reliable, responsible, and has been very helpful and welcoming. He's now a Facebook friend. And he's the one that has gotten the samosas for me that are just world-class delicious. And he also picked up some postcards for me that I'm going to be sending some friends back home, because I have not found postcards my entire trip here. So I'm going to be writing those and mailing those off soon. Lastly, Sir Faraz, a Facebook friend who agreed to meet me while I was here, has been the most gentle, humble, welcoming, and kind soul. He showed me his apartment and family. He showed me areas of Mumbai that I had not been introduced to before, like the spice pounding area, fish market, some beach seasides, rocky seasides, and some beaches and restaurants, and just many areas I was able to view from his motorbike, which gave me a bird's eye view of the city and many photographic pleasures. Sir Faraz is patient, helpful, and he's genuine, and he's anti-natalist. I trusted him to take me on his scooter in a very dangerous and chaotic city of 20 million people. I wish I could stow him in my suitcase. I wish he was my neighbor. I wish he was a local friend. And for this, I will miss him dearly. This is a loss I will mourn. I meet few people in life that I resonate with, and it's sad that I have to interact with people I don't like who don't appreciate me. Sir Faraz and I plan to do more videos with preparation. I have asked him to FaceTime me in the future. It's been a very hard 3 weeks here for all the above. The smells, the sights, the congestion, the chaos, the filth, the burnt tongue, the heat, the oppression, and the street dogs, the street dogs who the street dogs and cats who, who are well fed here. I will say that the community does feed the animals, but they just don't have a degree of health and happiness and comfort like we do in America. And I wish I could just help more animals, and I wish the goats were better treated, but I didn't see any abuse whatsoever here of animals. I mean, you could call it neglect, but people are very kind to animals here. So and that was one thing I did expect. And the street dogs are usually fed by people who have connections to restaurants, or rescue people who go out to mangroves, or who go out to parks and just feed the strays that seem to stay in a particular area. So, and I've witnessed that. I witnessed a guy bring rice and chicken to dogs, and I brought some food to dogs. So, yeah, I am pretty impressed with what I've seen with dogs. And there are some water bowls on some beaches, clay water bowls that people fill and place water for the dogs. So, it's been a really, really hard 3 weeks here because of the suffering. But I came away with this with two great friends and lifelong experiences, lots and lots of photographs, and an idea for a new book, a photo book of Mumbai animals. And I sterilized 2 stray dogs, spayed and neutered. Their names are Pretty Boy and India. So they were released into the park. So they're there to live their lives and the best that they possibly can without reproducing. So my mission was accomplished. Thank you for listening this far. Please like, share, and subscribe.